When we were dealing with the implications of a Terminal 5, when I was a councillor on Hounslow Council, we were looking at, with a range of economic organisations around Heathrow and local authorities, were looking at a scheme to bring in rail from the south and southwest. It was then called AirTrack, and meanwhile colleagues to the west of Heathrow, particularly Reading, Slough and so on, were looking at a new Western Rail extension with the support of the then Department for Transport. Now, certainly the link from the west was going well and was a stage ahead than the Southern Rail access. But then, was it last year or the year before, all of those ground to a halt as the Department for Transport announced that they wanted to let the private sector lead. And as the Transport Select Committee that we're discussing here today has said, that just hasn't delivered. So we've had a 6 months or even a year's hiatus on what is runway, well, on what is needed now, rail infrastructure in and around Heathrow, and yet nothing is happening because the private sector expects, I quite understand, expects the government to direct those new roads. Now, the government isn't going to pay for it, Heathrow isn't going to pay for it. Who is going to pay for it, apart from those businesses and those people who depend, who are dependent on smooth-running road system? And certainly the passengers, of course, who will be missing their planes because they'll be stuck in traffic jams.